Okay, welcome back to Sillies and Sads. With me, your host, Taylor. I know there's probably a glare from my ring light and my glasses, but I need to order contacts, so you guys are just gonna have to bear with me. So this is, I guess, the first official episode of the podcast with it just being me. And pretty much what I'm gonna do, I think, is kind of give you guys a rundown of, like, what's been going on in my life lately. Pretty much, I'm getting married October 13th, so that's a big fucking deal. Not only that, but I'm moving in January, which I know I've stated in, like, previous episodes, which are still public if anybody wants to go listen to them. But I'm moving in January to Oregon, right? So what I did was I got certified as a recovery mentor. And a lot of people have had questions about that, like, what is a recovery mentor? What do you guys do? And essentially we just help people who are in recovery. I say it like I'm already doing the job, but in my mind I am. We help people in recovery find resources, get clean, stay clean, find like sober living houses, things like that. I'm sure that there are places like that in Texas. I just am not familiar with them, and because I don't want to be here anymore. So, like, my goal has always been to move to the Pacific Northwest. It's just that when I was in my active addiction, like, there was no fucking way in hell that was happening, girl. Like, no, I was a hot mess express. But, so I'm doing that in January. So, Jake and I, my fiance, for those of you who do not know, we're getting married on October 13th, which just so happens to be Friday the 13th, which some people say is bad luck, but I think it's a good omen. Because, I always wanted to get married in October. Like, I always wanted a fall wedding. Not that I ever really anticipated, like, a big wedding or anything, like, extravagant, because I didn't. But when we decided, we were like, okay, we'll shoot for October 11th, right? Because we decided we were going to get married before we moved, because, we're both from Texas. It'll be easier to, like, get paperwork and everything, because we were both born here. We both live here right now. Versus going to a whole nother state, not knowing, like, all of the laws of marriage there. Because I'm not 100% sure how they differ, so it would just be easier to do it here anyways. So with all that being said, we were going to get married, like, October 11th, right? And then I called my mom, and my mom's in school right now, because she's going to be a doctor. And I hope that she watches this new version, because I have so much shit to tell you guys about my mom and me. But I'll get to that. I'm trying to stay more focused. I'm trying to stay more direct in a thought, versus being like, bah, bah, bah. So that way I can get a whole story out. But anyway. So my mom's in school, so we were going to do it October 11th, right? And then she was like, that's a weekday. Like, could we do the 13th? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, that totally works. And it just so happened to be Friday the 13th. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is... To me, like I said, it's a good omen. Like, it's amazing luck. Okay, repetitive ass. I always wanted to get married around Halloween, and I got proposed to on Halloween, right? Yeah, it was Halloween of 21, right? Because it's, like, what I wanted. So that's when I got proposed to and stuff, and now I'm in, like, this whole new chapter of my life, and I don't know. I think everything's just really coming together. So, I'm getting married. My dad's coming down this weekend. We're going to do all of, like, the measurements and stuff for the wedding. Like, because it's going to be in my backyard. Obviously, very classic. Trying to save money. Because we're moving. And that shit's expensive. Like, I don't know how many people who listen to my podcast have made a cross-country move. But, like, it is not a cheap process. Like, it is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And, like, no matter how much you save, you don't feel like you've saved enough, right? It's very stressful. It's very overwhelming. Also, like, this whole new chapter of my life, like I said, new beginnings, right? Like, I'm making all these new friends, like, through my sober community. And, I started going to AA meetings. And, like, it's just crazy because it's, like, this whole new chapter of my life that I never thought would happen, and it's so cool that I get to, like, sit here and essentially, like, talk to my bestie about it and be like, yo, guys, this is what's happening in my life. So, getting married, have all that set up. I have my wedding dress. I cannot show you guys. Obviously, But I can post some pictures of me in other dresses over on Patreon because, yes, everyone who wants to know, Patreon is still up and going. I am going to start posting exclusive content there regularly. I want this to be a very consistent stream of content, like in the public setting and in Patreon, because, like I said, these last 2 months have been super lacking. And one thing about me is, like, when I want to get something done, like, I get it done, right? And now that it's only my schedule I have to worry about. I don't have to worry about anybody else. Or like managing time or anything like that. Again, no shade, no tea, nothing like that. Just only worrying about like, what am I doing tonight? Or what am I doing tomorrow? Whatever. Being able to narrow down times when I can record like the whole new chapter. And obviously like I've talked to my friends about it, like Jaleesa and Jalen, like you know who you are. And like obviously other people who subscribe to the Patreon, like not talking like super depth, but just like talk about the last video I posted and like what you guys think and like do you think I approached everything right, like, you know, just little girly things. Also ASMR me drinking this. Also this cup, I think I showed it before, it's my new personality trait. I had these made by the girl who made the Sillies and Sads merch. She made this cup and another cup exactly like that for Jake. Yeah, she made us these cups because I asked her to. It has me and Jake's sober date on it. I thought it'd be really sweet because like for like my year of sobriety, he painted this like sobriety chip like on a piece of wood for me. Like it was a surprise. Like I woke up that day to it. It was very sweet and very romantic because he's literally the sweetest and most romantic human I've literally ever met. So he did that and I wanted to do this for us. And she, like, they're like fakey Stanleys, right? But like, she makes like her own decals and stuff. It was really cool. And if you guys want to know, I'm drinking, not that anybody asked, but I'm drinking sweet mint tea from HTO. It has been a hyperfixation of mine for some time now. And don't worry, if you guys can't see them, I'll put them more in view. I have my two pets. My pet 1 and pet 2, my vapes. My Canadian vape and my American vape. Because Jalen got me a Canadian vape, which fucking hits. Like, pause for me vaping. Not that I condone vaping or I'm telling anybody to vape. I'm just saying Canada makes a really good fucking vape. Way better than the ones I've had here. But that's some of what's been going on with me, more on the my mom and me front. I know that I talked about me and my mom's relationship in, like, previous episodes, and how it's been, like, tumultuous and, like, kind of on, like, rocky, like, you know, rocky, what is the word I'm thinking of? Rocky feet? You know what I'm saying. It's been an uneasy relationship we've had. A lot to do with my active addiction and finding myself and my sobriety and speaking my truth, etc., etc. But lately we've had this like whole new chapter of our like relationship blossom, right? Like we talk every day, like she's my best friend. And it's just a relationship I never thought I was going to be able to have with my mom, and she has done so much growing, and I like wasn't giving her the chance to show me that growth because I was like, I've been burned. I don't want to get burned again. But that's not fair, you know? Like, you have to give somebody a second chance to show you. And, like, she did the same for me. Like, she gave me 1,000 chances. Like I said, I was an addict. Like, I wasn't a good daughter. I wasn't a good family member. Like, I lied. I stole. I fucking got arrested a couple times. Like, you're not putting a statue up of me saying she was a good one, you know. Now, obviously, it's different. Hindsight is 2020, which I've also said 1,000 times on this podcast. It's just cool though being able to like have that perspective and have like be able to look back and be like, okay, so this is how you were feeling then, but this is how you feel now, right? Well, like I said, she's been such a huge support. Her and my Nana like surprise bought my wedding dress for me, like I about cried because obviously a wedding dress is a big purchase and it's a big deal. And like her and my Nana and my aunt and Jalen, they all went with me because Jalen's my maid of honor. And, like, it was such a badass time. And, like, they all took pictures of me. And, like, you know, they were like, okay, make this face. Okay, make that face. Because I guess when I walked out, I was making a bunch of, like, faces. That's just my face naturally. It wasn't that I wasn't excited. It's just, like, that's just how my face is. Okay? And it was just really cool. Like, everybody was giving their input. And, like, the dress I picked, like, I look like a princess. Like, I look like Ella Enchanted, you know, or what did I say? What's that fucking movie? Princess Diaries. It's like, princess, look out the window. Welcome to Genovia. That's how I felt in this dress. And the lady who helped us, like, I went to Bestow Bridal in Austin, and her name was Jeanette, I want to say. And man, she was so sweet and so helpful, helped me get in every dress. And I tried on like 10 or 15 fucking dresses. Like, it was quite a few dresses. And she helped, like, with every single one of them, like, zip me up, like, was like, okay, everybody, did, like, grand reveals, made it look gorgeous. I was standing on this little, like, stool thing, and, like, it was awesome. Like, it was an awesome experience. And I'm really happy I got to share that, like, with my mom and my nana and my aunt and, like, my best friend, you know? Like, that's exciting. And, you know, being able to, like, just spend that time with the people I love. Like, I never thought, like, I don't have a lot of firsts left, right? Like, I've done a bajillion drugs. I've drank in so many different locations. I've made a trillion mistakes. Had some crazy stories to tell along the way, which a bunch of you have heard about. But this was like a good, wholesome memory that I can lock away in my mind forever. Like, a memory I would have never had. Like, the addict Taylor version of me would have never had. So it's amazing to be able to look at this and, like, see these pictures. And I'll post some of them on Patreon of, like, me and Jalen and, like, me and my mom and stuff. And, like, it's crazy to look back and be like, holy shit. Like, I'm going to put these pictures in a photo album that one day Jake and I's kids will see. And they'll be like, oh, my God, look at you and, like, Nana, which will be my mom's name when we have kids. And then, like, look at Aunt Jalen and, you know, everybody else. It's an exciting thought. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little mushy. Like, I don't know. I want this, like, the newer, vamped version of this to be, like, obviously I want to be silly, goofy, funny, haha. And obviously I'm going to have bad days. There will still be sads in the sillies and sads, but I want it to be very uplifting and, like, I want to talk about serious stuff that matters to me, and I want to talk about sentimental shit that essentially people are cringed out by. Like, I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to be like, ew, like, don't talk about that. Like, that's fucking cringe. Like, no, fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck if it's cringe. Like, be fucking cringy, please. Like, at least you're being real, you know? Like, I used to have such a big fear, and I think I might have talked about it before, but of, like, oh, I don't want to say the wrong thing or, like, do the wrong thing. And, like, you know, somebody look at me like, oh, my God, what the fuck is she doing? Or why is she saying that? Like, it's such an amazing feeling to, like, let go of that, you know? Never saying I don't have moments, guys. Like, come on, I'm still me. Where I get in my own fucking head. But lately it's been, like, a really positive, like, uplifting world I'm living in. Also, I've unlocked, like, this new chapter of, like, my spirituality, which, not like a religion or anything. Like, I just find that I'm, like, most at peace when I'm in nature, which just hammers home the point of me moving to fucking Oregon, like, where it rains. Like, oh my God, in Texas, it's like a drought. It rained for 30 minutes the other day. First time in, like, 3 months. And when I tell you, everybody and their mom was like, can you smell the rain? Can you smell the rain? And I was one of them, okay? I was so fucking over the moon about this stupid rain. And, like, to think that I'll be living in a place where it rains all the time, and that's why it's so green and beautiful. And having those experiences, like, I could literally go on a tangent about that shit for hours. But for this first episode, I just kind of wanted to, like, touch base on, like, the past couple weeks. I'm going to dive more into it, of course. And I know I'm staring off like this, but it's just because, like, this, like, I know my glasses have a glare. And I'm like, it's okay, girl. I really thought when I got these glasses, the Versace's, that, like, I got the anti-glare, but, like, obviously I guess I didn't. And then once I order my contacts, which I will have to order soon because of the wedding, because my other ones, like I said, are really fucking old. Once I order those, it'll be a little bit better. But that being said, I'm going to end it here. Start off with smaller little tidbits to try to, like, dip my toes in the water and kind of see, like, where this takes me, you know? Like, before it was, you know, we would talk about, like, okay, what are we going to talk about? Like, da-da-da-da. And now I just, like I said, I want it to be, like, concise, like, get the stories out. But I don't want it to be like, okay, in this episode, we're going to do this. I want it to just, like, flow, like, we're friends, like, I'm having a conversation with you right now, you're asking about my life, and I'm telling you, you know? Obviously, if anybody wants to ask any questions, like, silliesandsads@gmail.com, it is still my active email for the podcast. You can find me on Sillies and Sads, on Instagram, TikTok, you know, Twitter. My brain was like, oh, well, now I guess it's called X. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that, by the way? Because when I opened my phone and I saw that, like, new icon, I was like, I'm sorry. What the fuck did I download? But neither here nor there. I do have a Twitter or an X account. And then my personals, as everybody knows, is Taylor Blitz 1 on TikTok, which I post TikToks every day, like little dancies, like little outfits of the day, talking. Sometimes I talk about, like, my personal life, sometimes I don't. Like, it just kind of depends on, like, where I'm at, like, what I want to do. My Twitter is tbills with 4 Z's, and my Instagram is tbills with 3 Z's and an underscore. I'll obviously put everything in the video. Also, I'm going to be testing out some different intro and audio music because I think with this, like, new change, like, I need a revamp, right? So I'm going to be working with those ideas and possibly getting my new software soon, so that way the content I will bring you guys will be even better, and I'll be able to get, like, a better mic. Not that this one is terrible, but it is a USB mic, and I know it could be better quality, and I want to provide that for you guys. So until next time, my little babies, my little chickens. Okay. Taylor out? Like, is that weird? I don't know. Let me know.